up everyone? My name is Peng and I like to think I'm an expert in gymnastics. I have been around the sport for quite some time, like 20 years. I was a former 2012 London Olympic team captain for Canada and, as you guys may know, I was a former UCLA Bruin. So during my career at UCLA, I scored 10 perfect 10s. One of those 10s was to help UCLA clinch the NCAA National Championship title. So that's why I like to think that I'm an expert. I've just been around for a long time. It's been a while. But I'm super passionate about sharing my tips and tricks of what I've learned during the sport, and I want to share it with all of you guys. All my beautiful penguins. But of course, I can't do it alone, so I am going to bring on UCLA expert, one of my best friends, Janay and I. Since we're in 2 different countries right now, we're going to FaceTime her in. Okay. What's up?
Hi.
Hi. Wow, aren't we cute just in our rooms?
I'm in my living room.
Just kidding. Yay, I'm so excited we get to talk over FaceTime. I guess to get started, Janay, why do you think you're an expert in gymnastics?
Well, the reason why I think I'm an expert, let me just give you my background, actually. This is why I'm an expert.
Hey guys, my name is Janay and if you don't know who I am, I was also on the UCLA gymnastics team at the same time as Peng. Fun fact, we actually started competing in the same year, even though she was 2 years ahead of me. So we started competing as Bruins at the same time, and we left as Bruins at the same time. I'm from California. I came on to UCLA as a walk-on, and I earned a scholarship in my senior year before I graduated, so that was amazing. I am the 2016 Pac-12's uneven bar co-champion. I was also on the 2018 national championship team.
Okay, before we get into it, we gotta do the basics. Make sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can catch new episodes later on.
So basically what we want to do in the Honestly show is essentially what we did in our podcast, but they're going to be a little bit shorter or a lot shorter. And we're just going to simplify it. We're just going to give you guys tips on different subjects and questions that you guys have asked us and that things that we get asked all the time. And we want to talk about our experiences and what has helped us, and maybe you guys can do the same. So we get this question a lot. If you're an athlete, in most cases, you're going to have a mental block. We want to give you our top 6 tips on how to deal with mental blocks, how to approach them, what could help, and what we did to help ourselves. But first, what is even a mental block?
Okay, so to simply put it, a mental block is something that is preventing you from doing the skill. Or my personal favorite is when you're actually doing the skill and you get lost and your body just does whatever it wants and you just don't understand why you lost it. Yeah. Always fun. Mental blocks are great.
So I was definitely a gymnast, state athlete that struggled with mental blocks. Sometimes it can be the twisties, sometimes you're going for a release and you don't let go of the bar. Sometimes it's before a dismount. It can be very simple, it can be very hard. Growing up, the most prominent one that was an issue, especially because it came later when I got into college, was vault. Oh my goodness, I don't know what it was about vault. Even though it's 10 seconds, I was overthinking and I would balk all the time. I would run up to the vault and I would just run off because I'm like, no, I'm not ready, or no, I can't do it. What am I doing? I don't know.
But even at the highest level, gymnasts go through mental blocks. And we brought our friend Kyla Ross to tell us her experience on mental blocks.
Hi, Jay and Peng. Thanks so much for having me on your channel. Mental blocks were a huge part of my gymnastics journey. For me, I had a terrible fear of tumbling backwards on floor and on beam. I don't even know how it started, but once I got to level 5 and started doing back handsprings, I just immediately had like a paralyzing fear of trying to go backwards. I would always balk and I would never go. Honestly, it took me a super long time to get through it, but my coaches were able to help me get through it. A big thing for me was using visualization to help me. I think for myself, I would always try to picture myself doing the skill right before I would go each time, and that would help instill more confidence in myself. Also, positive words of encouragement to myself would always help too, but it's something that I had to work through. Even though I would have hard days in the gym, I knew that I really loved gymnastics and I wanted to stick with it, keep competing and having fun in gymnastics.
All right, Peng, I think we should get into it.
All right, tip 1, take a deep breath. Do it with me. Know that it is perfectly normal for you to get mental blocks. Almost every gymnast gets mental blocks, and if you don't get mental blocks, I don't know who you are.
Tip number 2, take a step back. This is something that I did a lot and it helped me tremendously. Maybe you need to walk away for a second to collect your thoughts, to calm your nerves, or do anything that you need to do to get yourself in the right mindset. What helped me was when I'm on vault and I was struggling a little bit, I would take a minute, I would walk out of the gym, and there was this case and it had John Wooden's Pyramid of Success. And I would read poise and I would read confidence, 2 words that resonated with me the most, that I struggled with, and I would read what those words meant, take a deep breath, embody those words as much as I could before I approached the event one more time. So try that. Taking a step back definitely helped me, and it definitely kind of just helps clear your mind a little bit, especially when you're getting very frazzled and you're getting very nervous.
Tip 3, talk to your coach. Have you ever heard that communication is key? Well, talking to your coach will help so much. Express that you are having a mental block. Tell them what's going on very specifically and detailed. A coach is there to guide you. A coach is there to help you through this really hard time of having a mental block. If you go and approach your coach and say, I'm having this mental block, but I really want to know how I can get back into this. I'm getting really lost at this part. I'm really scared to go for it and I'm not sure why. At least you're communicating to the coach and not just saying, I'm scared. Yeah, it's really frustrating because you don't know what's going on. There is an athlete-coach divide right there. And you can be detailed. You could say, when I go for this skill, this happens and I don't know why. And you can also say, I'm really scared of going for this skill. I want to get over that, but I'm not sure how. At least you're putting the questions onto the coaches so that the coach can help answer your questions and you're not just standing there in silence. It happens, or just standing there in straight fear. It's really important for you to talk to your coach so that they are able to help you the best way possible.
And honestly, sometimes you gotta just go back to basics. I mean, who wants to go back to basics and do the boring stuff? When you think about it, let's say you're having a mental block and you're doing a new skill and you just want to throw the skill. You just want to get it over with and you're not thinking about any technique. It's very important to go back to the basics and really drill in the technique, so when you do it for the first time, it's gonna be correct. So going back to basics, maybe it's just doing handstands or control work or tightening your core, maybe a simple conditioning move, or maybe you need to do simple drills on the side. Something that will just reinforce what you are trying to accomplish as a whole. So go back to the basics.
Tip 5, visualize. Visualize, visualize, visualize. This will help your mental blocks so much. You want to visualize exactly how you want that skill to look. You can visualize by closing your eyes, which is basically sitting there with your eyes closed and then practicing the skill over and over again in your head, almost like you're playing a movie. I can't do that. When I visualize with my eyes closed, for some reason, I always crouch the beam, or if I'm laying down on my bed and closing my eyes, I'm doing gymnastics sideways. And I don't understand why I can't do a perfect skill when my eyes are closed. That's not my way of visualizing. It works for some people, but the way that I like to visualize is I like to use my hands a lot. My hands are my best friends. So I visualize by doing a walkthrough. A walkthrough is basically going through your routine, but more in real time. So you can stand on the beam, you can stand in between the bars, you can stand on the floor, on the vault. Basically what you're doing is you are visualizing as if you are doing the skill. So say if I'm doing a kip cast to handstand, I'm using my hands, pretending I'm doing a kip, and then a handstand. That is my kip cast handstand, and it was perfect. Did you see my hand motion? Perfect. While I do those motions, I squeeze my body as if I'm doing it. This is the most important part. When you're visualizing and doing your walkthrough, do it as if you're doing the skill. If you are scared of doing the skill, pretend as soon as you leap off the ground, you're tightening your body. This way, your body is practicing those fine muscle motor skills. Even if you think you're not doing the actual skill, you're practicing it in your brain, and your brain is so powerful that when it becomes time for you to do the skill, you've practiced it so many times in your head, and it's just as powerful as even practicing it. So if you are scared of doing something, pretend you are doing it, but squeeze every single muscle as if you are doing the skill.
And last but definitely not least, tip number 6, you really just gotta believe in yourself. Honestly, you see what I did there? It's easier said than done. It may sound very cliche. Of course, I'm trying to believe in myself. Really, at the end of the day, it's you that's gonna be doing the skill. It's you personally and physically that has to build up the courage to do it. So you need to figure out how to believe in yourself. What I learned at UCLA is just the power of words, what you tell yourself verbally out loud. Let's say you're trying to think to yourself and say, oh, I can't do it, I'll try to do it. Try and change the verbiage a little bit and the dialogue to say, I can do this, I will do this skill, I am confident, I do believe in myself, I know I'm safe, and I know I got this. Just positive affirmations, definitely not using words in a negative connotation such as can't and try, because that just kind of gives yourself an out. So you want to make sure you do your best to say the positive affirmations. Maybe ask someone to keep you accountable. You're like, hey, look, I am verbally telling you that I'm going to do the skill and I believe in myself, but I need you to watch me. Can you watch me? Y'all, you just gotta believe in yourself. I would say that's the most important part at the end of the day. Let's say you do all the first 5 tips. If you got all those down and you don't believe in yourself, then what's the point?
Yay! So these are Janay and I's top 6 tips for mental blocks. Obviously, this isn't going to solve all your problems. These are our tips and tricks that we've learned from gymnastics that have really helped us during our mental blocks. We know that everybody is different and it may not work for everyone, but this is just a suggestion we want to make.
What we are aiming to do with these videos and these tips is just to encourage you to try the things that worked for us. But if you don't want to try them, it's really not a big deal. You're in control and you don't have to try them. So we invite you to try these tips and these strategies that helped us. And if they work, let us know. Comment below. Give us an example. Tell us what skill you were doing or whatever you're doing. Honestly, this can apply for any sport. We want to share our experiences with you and what worked for us, and maybe it can work for you.
But thank you so much for watching this first episode of It's Honestly Just Gymnastics. There will be new episodes every Sunday at 3 p.m. PST time and 6 p.m. I don't know why I did this. And 6 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure also to comment down below what you would like us to talk about, what you are having problems with, if these mental block tips helped you, because we would love to know your feedback as well.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends. And remember, this isn't just specifically for gymnastics, because every athlete gets mental blocks. We want this to be shared with everyone.
But we will see you guys next time.
Bye!